Next year, the F1 grid will experience a major shakeup with the introduction of new technical regulations. Could Ferrari finally make their move to the front? Former F1 driver Johnny Herbert is of the opinion that 2026 could be Lewis Hamilton's final shot at clinching that elusive eighth title. And here's why. After dominating the turbo hybrid era with an incredible 6 championships in 7 seasons, including his 2008 victory with McLaren, Hamilton looked unstoppable. But in recent years, the Brit has faced struggles as Mercedes has fallen behind in the pecking order, leaving the road to another title much tougher. With the new chassis and power unit changes shaking up the grid, Herbert believes this could be Hamilton's last shot at securing a record-breaking 8th championship. Speaking to Ace Odds, he shared his thoughts on how the upcoming changes might give Hamilton one final chance at glory. I think 2026 is Lewis Hamilton's final chance at getting the 8th championship. He's 40 years old now. Is he in his prime? Is he in his prime? No. Has that prime passed? Yes. Is he still really good? Yes. Hamilton has teamed up with Charles Leclerc at Ferrari, with the Monegasque driver already in his 7th season with the iconic team. So far, Leclerc has had the upper hand over Hamilton in the first 5 races, as the Brit continues to settle into his new surroundings at Maranello. Herbert pointed out that Hamilton's path to another title could face a serious challenge from Leclerc as well, especially if Ferrari manages to leap to the front of the grid. Charles Leclerc is better than Hamilton at the moment, so even if the Ferrari improves, he needs to beat his teammate. But in the end, it might not even matter to Lewis Hamilton how well Ferrari appears to be doing when the new regulations hit. He has been tipped to eventually walk away from his new team, with some calling the Maranello-based outfit not a winning squad. That bold prediction comes from former Toro Rosso driver Jaime Alguersuari, who feels like he's taking a bit of a gamble making that claim, especially considering Hamilton's mixed start at Ferrari following his high-profile move from Mercedes. While Hamilton has already celebrated a win in Ferrari red, clinching the China sprint from pole, he hasn't managed to finish a race ahead of his teammate, Charles Leclerc. With significant gaps of 0.6 and half a second to Leclerc in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, Hamilton's frustration boiled over, suggesting that there's no fix in sight, and warning that a painful season could be ahead. That interview was just one of many recent concerning comments from Hamilton, leaving fans wondering about his future at Ferrari. Alguersuari, who raced 46 times between 2009 and 2011 with Red Bull's junior team, Toro Rosso, fears that this could already be the beginning of the end for Hamilton and Ferrari. The 7-time world champion is signed with Ferrari through at least the end of 2026, but Alguersuari, speaking on the Afterlap podcast, hinted that a split could be on the horizon if things don't improve. I don't know why I'm taking a risk by saying this, but I have the feeling that his time has passed, that he's already won a lot, that he's already won everything, and that he's saying, okay, I've gone to Ferrari to try and see what happens in 2026. Ferrari hasn't savoured the sweet taste of an F1 title since their 2008 Constructors' Championship win, and their last Drivers' Champion was Kimi Raikkonen back in 2007. Alguersuari didn't mince words when it came to Ferrari's title prospects, offering a blunt take on their chances as Hamilton continues his pursuit of a record-breaking 8th World Championship. Ferrari is not a winning team. A team is a team that wins races, but it is not a winning team. They have not won since 2008, said Alguersuari. So they may have a competitive car, they may have a competitive team, but they don't have a winning team. There is a difference. Hamilton's patience with Ferrari's hierarchy seems to be wearing thin due to his performances, but team principal Fred Vasseur has stepped in to firmly back the 7-time world champion. Vasseur made it clear that Hamilton still has the full support of the team, despite the growing frustrations. As qualifying continues to be a growing concern for Hamilton, La Gazzetta dello Sport reports that Ferrari's new SF-25 chassis goes into crisis when low fuel and slow corners combine, adding to his frustrations. Hamilton has admitted he's struggling to connect with the Ferrari SF-25, describing it as alien after spending 12 seasons with Mercedes. Reports suggest that a critical flaw in Ferrari's Challenger has been uncovered, a flaw that certainly isn't helping his case. So far in 2025, Ferrari has only managed to crack the top three in qualifying once. La Gazzetta dello Sport reports that when the SF-25 runs with minimal fuel, the car struggles significantly in slow-speed corners, essentially going into crisis as it hunts for mechanical grip, an issue that clearly affects qualifying performance. The report goes on to say that the SF-25 is particularly sensitive to changes in ride height. This was highlighted by Hamilton's disqualification from the Chinese Grand Prix in April, when excessive plank wear raised questions about the car's setup. Hamilton later admitted in Japan that they were running the SF-25 higher than we would like to compensate for this issue. The rocky start to Hamilton's Ferrari career, combined with his downbeat mood in recent rounds, has led six-time Grand Prix winner Ralf Schumacher to suggest that Hamilton might consider stepping away from F1 if things don't improve. But Hamilton was quick to shut down any talk of retirement. Speaking to a London crowd at the opening of the new Fanatics Collectibles flagship store, the seven-time world champion made it clear that he's not ready to throw in the towel just yet. "Please keep your fingers crossed. I'm not going to give up," he declared. "We're going to keep getting better. Still we rise, right?" F1 pundit and analyst Alex Brundle, a racing driver and son of Sky, F1 commentator Martin Brundle believes that one particular aspect of Lewis Hamilton's driving style might not gel with the Ferrari SF-25, a killer trait that could be contributing to Hamilton's struggles. After analyzing Hamilton's driving data from recent weekends, Brundle pinpointed a trait that could be at odds with the SF-25's characteristics. Speaking on the F1 Nation podcast, Brundle explained how this mismatch might be playing a role in Hamilton's ongoing challenges with the car. He has talked about moving the car towards him, and he's talked about moving himself towards the car. "I look at the data from Lewis every weekend. The trait is the same. He goes into high-speed corners and hits a little bit more brake pressure than Charles Leclerc. You can draw a line directly up the wheel speed graph to the steering trace, and the brake aligns perfectly with a tiny bit of movement. It just upsets the Ferrari everywhere. Leclerc is just Mr. Measured on the brakes. We know that Lewis had a problem with the same thing. I saw the data at Mercedes. Can he coach himself out of a lifetime's worth of driving technique to move towards the car? We will find out." Hamilton's struggles have been further complicated by the nature of today's ultra-fast F1 cars. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella pointed out during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix that modern cars demand instinctive driving, with barely any time for conscious adjustment or correction. For Hamilton, this presents an added challenge as he works to adapt his driving style to the demanding new machines. "It's a killer trait to have in a car, especially if you're behind," Brundle noted, "because you look for the time and it punishes you again. It gets worse and worse." Factoring in his age and current situation with Ferrari's car, how good are Lewis Hamilton's chances of winning an unprecedented 8th title in the next 2 years? Let me hear from you in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.